Yeah, doing really well. I think I'm just happy to be back in France and start a new season with Lyon. Obviously, it's a shorter preseason for us because of the World Cup, but I think every international is just happy, after maybe a little bit of a disappointing World Cup to come back here and start a new season. Yeah, it's really hard. It was obviously disappointing for us. I think everyone looks at the United States and they probably expect more, but we faced a lot of good opponents, and playing Sweden in a game like that in a round of 16 is never really what you want, but it was a good game. We went out in a good way. We played the style that I prefer, and penalties, they what are you going to say? They're unfortunate, and it's part of the game, and yeah, that's kind of life. That's kind of what any footballer wants, when you obviously have something disappointing and, this feeling of wanting more. I think it was the same with last season with Champions League. I think you always want to get back into the next season and just be like, we want to achieve something else, we want a new challenge, and now we want to go win as many trophies as possible. Penalties are a part of the game. It's really unfortunate because I think, especially for me, you miss a penalty. That it happens. Like, someone has to miss, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted more for the team, and especially like the way we battled, the way we played. Like you said, it was one of our best games, and you felt the group, you felt the win coming, and there was never a point of the game where I felt like we couldn't win. And I think that's the most hurtful thing, because football can really be cruel. We can play a game like that away at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and come up short. And yeah, you look back and you say, I wish I scored that penalty, I wish we didn't get that penalty at the end of the game, et cetera, et cetera. But it's life, and this is football, and it makes you want more, and I think that's now the place that we're all at, because you're going to get the best team this year to go out and win Champions League. Individually, it's always just what can I bring to the team, what impact can I have, and more so as a leader, in this group now, because I've taken on a bigger responsibility with my national team, and I feel like I can have that presence here. Just a little bit different with, a different culture and everything. But also just, I want to be the best player that I can be. I want to keep improving, and that's another reason why I'm here at Lyon, and I chose to stay. Because I get to play with the best players in the world every single day, and I get better because of them. So, what can I bring to them? How can I help some of the younger players and help them improve, but also just improve my game and become the best player that I can be. To be perfectly honest, I think that was the only thing that was really hard for me, was, not being close to family, not being close to friends and at home. But when I think about my football career, it's not long, it's short. And if I want to become the best player that I can be, and play with the best players, in the world, and challenge myself, I think of Lyon, and I think of what Lyon has given me in the past 18 months. And it's very hard for me to sit here and say I want to go back. I want more, and the trophies that we compete for, and the the winningness that we have in this club. Yeah, it's something very difficult to turn down for me. And playing for Champions League titles is something that you just don't get when you go back to the NWSL, to be perfectly frank. And for me, it's like you have the World Cup, you have the Olympics, and you have Champions League. This is one of the greatest tournaments in the world, and something that I've a goal of mine that I've always had, and achieving that my first year here was one of the best memories of my life, and I want more of that. So yeah, I think for me it was more of an easier decision than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, we'll just have to get my parents over here more.